Hey guys, today is Wednesday, April 14th, 2021, and we're just doing a quick video, a bit of a follow-up video, I guess, for what I was talking about yesterday with Premier's approvals for COVID response and how it might be impacting the polls. So as you can see here, we talked about Jason Kenney yesterday. Jason Kenney basically has the lowest approval rating of any Premier when it comes to the COVID-19 response, and this poll just came out. Looks like CBC conducted this poll over March and a bit of April, and they found that the NDP would likely form the majority government if an election were held today. So this is a bit of a change. This is a bit of a confirmation of numbers we've already seen. 338 hasn't been updated, I think, with these numbers. It's still March 14th, but you can see here the NDP did have a little bit of a lead. It looked like a statistical, definitely within the margin of error here. And we're waiting to see some new numbers, and CBC poll has provided us some new numbers. So these are the election results as they looked. And you can see that, the NDP, they lost government. They had government 2015 to 2019 for the first time in nearly 50 years. That Conservative Party did not have government in Alberta. And this is when the UCP took over. So you can see here the strong area for the NDP was Edmonton, and they got kind of trounced pretty much everywhere else, Calgary being most important there. And the differences here with this polling is we see the NDP is pulled ahead in Calgary. And so this is pulling the big difference makers here. So they're leading the Conservatives 41 to 34% based on this poll. Edmonton still very solid at 50%. Alberta overall, it looks like the NDP have a 7-point lead. But there are a few things we got to talk about as well, because we still have this Western Independence Party, which is a bit of a wild card, this Alberta Party as well, and the third biggest party seems to just be unspecified. So they're not even counting the Alberta Liberal Party. I think it's basically irrelevant to all of this. But I guess the questions we have to have here is, how much do we believe in this? Again, it's another 2 years at least, I think, until Alberta will have an election. It's 2023. They're scheduled to have that. So there's a lot of time for this to kind of change over. And I think a lot of these numbers are kind of, I would say they're more based on the impression of Jason Kenney rather than the popularity of Rachel Notley, because as far as I can see here, so this is Kenney's approval rating, and you can see, it started with basically generally high approval here, but now for the first time it looks like more than half of Albertans are giving him a low rating, and the percentage that has given him a high rating is pretty much slashed in half here since the start of the pandemic, where it was 34% and now it's 16%. And Rachel Notley, it's not like she has a bit of a boost here. It looks like consistently same kind of approval here. So I guess the article draws its own thing here. And, some people think that this is a good sign for the NDP because it shows that there's stability for Rachel Notley and instability for Kenney. And this might translate in a whole bunch of different ways. But I think we have to be very cautious here because it's not like Rachel Notley is terribly popular in Alberta. I think a lot of people will remember 2015 to 2019. She was very much a punching bag for right-wing people in Alberta, for basically a very stagnant economy that was going on there. And, what they argue in this article is that, the NDP, maybe they're doing well here, but it's because a lot of the right-wing vote, not a lot, but, a significant amount of the right-wing vote is sort of in this Independence Party, and I'll look more what the Alberta Party is about. But it seems to be that this is more of a ceiling for the NDP to be around here. It's not clear how they increase their lead other than winning winning Edmonton and Calgary. I think these are the two areas where the NDP obviously have to focus on the most. What happens in rural Alberta? I did look at some 2015 results. Let's just do a quick look at that, because I think it was interesting that when the NDP did win the government in 2015, they did have a few of these rural ridings. I mean, obviously they didn't have all of them, but see here, this is a nice map here. So they locked Edmonton up solidly, but there are a few rural ridings that go NDP, and these are important ridings for them to look at for sure. I think see if the UCP This is the question too. So in this election, we had a powerful Wildrose Party and Conservative Party. This really split the right-wing vote, allowed the NDP to win. This time, I don't know if we're going to see that much of a split, because obviously there is this Independence Party that's come up, but they don't have nearly as much support as the Wildrose Party did at the time. And you see here the regional advantage of them getting 21 seats. So if this party, the Separatist Party, if they're big in rural Alberta, let's see. The 338 numbers may not be updated, but there might be a regional distribution here. So you see the Independence Party is strongest outside of the major cities, which we expect to see. It's nowhere near the level, though, where it would be a threat to any Conservative seats. So we have to just have to see how Rachel Notley handles this, because really, again, I don't think it's so much the NDP having good policy here, as it is the Conservatives just basically ticking everybody off in the province. So we're going to see pretty soon. I think this is a clear sign that, the NDP have a lead here, that they, that I guess we thought at first was a bit of a statistical anomaly. Maybe there's more truth to it now with this latest polling data, but of course a lot can change over 2 or 3 years. So we will see next time what happens. And thank you so much for listening.